We're back. 10:30. We resume play, but for the moment we are just kind of chilling because, yeah, I had a little bit of a power outage even. So rather than a 10:30 break, we're kind of gonna chill until 10:30. So, um, let's do a little high road trivia. That's right, where we ask and answer the important questions. Shin, what's your favorite color?
So is mine Cabanchos or Roshi's?
We're doing all three. We're doing all three.
So mine is red.
All right. What is Kabancho's favorite color?
You're
Let's say
asking a hard-hitting question
Cabancho, probably
today.
purple.
Yeah. And what is Aroshi's favorite color?
Uh I don't think Orochi will have a favorite color. He enjoys all color.
So, as a hermit, he developed a monochromatic view of all colors being equally beautiful. See, perhaps that's what one learns when living on a
That was a
mountain.
really great way to spin that, Lee.
And here's a question. Kai, do you think that Zion perceives color the way people do?
I think so.
It's getting all the colors. Does it get more colors? Does it get does it have the HDI discs?
Advanced colors.
Can it definitively say no? I know what color the dress is.
Yeah, it's blue and black.
Yeah, probably.
What color do you think is its favorite?
Metallic gray.
That's all it sees.
What is no? It sees all. It just likes that the best. What is Tier's favorite color?
Black for sure.
I would say shadow.
I was like that too.
And Kai, what is your favorite color?
Blue.
I was about to say, and remind me who you played in Tier Takes Talent Down. Because I was like, wait, no, he has a Tier Takes Talent Down character too, right?
I think he played Tier. I don't know.
In case you were wondering what level my brain is operating at right now, what character was Kai in Tier Takes Talent Down? Vote now on your phones, those engaged in the High Road Trivia game.
We can vote on our phones?
But wait, Shin, what was it? Z something? Zars? I?
I'm trying to remember it.
Sudoku?
Sudoku.
Yeah, that's what it was.
How can you not remember your own character's name? We still literally have their sheets.
I don't see the sheets.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, it's in D4.
I just rolled a Zydoku fucking
Nat 20. Oh, you just stole Lee's Nat 20. I mean, not Lee's. Shin's Nat 20.
Yeah, it was the Lee doing the stealing. What can I
All
say?
right.
So Zydoku. Yeah, what's Zydoku's favorite color? Also black because shadow dimension.
I think Zydoku is also black.
All right. Now, Darren just got up, so we can't ask him. But Casey, what is your favorite color?
Mine or Lonnie's?
We're going through the characters. We're also gonna want to know Azizi's favorite color.
Zizi is definitely yellow.
Yeah,
I think
the color of Fuse.
No, I think I explicitly gave her gave her a yellow dress because she wanted to she wanted to be feminine and cute and stuff and happy. She just was also a little fucked up in the head.
It's also involved a little bit of bombing. You know what I'm saying? Listen, we have an expansive view of femininity here, Diesel Shine. Yeah.
Yeah, she cute stuff. She happy stuff.
She also liked bombings.
Yeah, she also just bombs and violence and chaos.
Which is hashtag valid. What's your favorite color?
Mine as a person is definitely red. Not bright, not base red, but I usually like more wine red or a little bit brighter than that.
Fair. And what about Lonnie's?
Purple.
All right, now we're getting some overlaps here, but here's the real question: what's Lumi's favorite color? Because
Yeah.
she can only see
How
dog
much
colors,
yeah, I was
right?
like, how much color can wolves see?
What colors can wolves see?
I can't imagine it's any more than like a dog, right? Like,
But if you cared for additional random lore drop, she has a purple. Lonnie has a purple headband. That she also now kind of uses as like a night patch occasionally. But that was a memento from her parents, so
Ooh, I recall that.
that's why she's keeping that around.
They only have blue and yellow receptors, so they're red-green colorblind. I believe means they can't differentiate between red-green stuff. So I think speaking, it's red-green, like it could fall under one umbrella of them. But also apparently, a wolf's eye structure allows them to distinguish more shades of gray than humans.
wait, are you telling me if a wolf decided to drive a car, they couldn't tell when to go or when to stop?
Yeah, it would be wolf pack to the metal, baby. Yeah.
All the colors
I'm,
just look the same to them.
I'm gonna assume gray, white, and blues are out for her.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess
Not loving the transformation.
yeah. So I guess I don't know, maybe yellow moons, sometimes yellow.
Yeah. Yeah. Made of cheese. Checks out. Darren, what's your favorite color?
Green.
Solid. What's Tento's favorite color?
Is
Gold.
it gold?
what's Ryojin's favorite color?
Actually, I think owls are colorblind.
What colors can owls see?
Are they colorblind, or is it just
Owls
because at
are
night?
actually able to see the color blue just fine. In fact, some birds but birds like owls use when trying to choose. Able to discern yellow, blue, green,
Welcome
and
to the
red.
nature podcast.
Yeah,
I
right.
wonder how much they actually
Do
ever
this.
get to see, though, because a lot of
Dark,
them do
yeah.
their hunting at night.
Well, they have really good night vision. I just wonder if their night vision is functionally gray.
I don't know if there's any night vision that can actually see true color. Is there?
Oh, their eyes are 100 times more sensitive to light than humans. Yeah, can't see color very well. All right.
Like, can cats see colors at night? Because like their eyes are like receiving more light, so that's why they can see better in the dark.
I
But I don't know if that translates to color.
I find it fun that not only do Casey and Shin have the same favorite color, but so do Lonnie and Kabancho. I feel like that works well.
Oh my god, this is so much better that I did not hear Shin's answers.
Yeah. And I think that we're back. We're so back. To like the one
Did I
viewer.
be that typical?
I mean, I'm like a green, purple, black are like my top three, and like you know.
Oh no, I mean
choose.
for Lonnie.
Oh, cause like nature. Like I like. Green.
Yeah, because real life purple is also very solid. Blue is also very solid. I think I enjoy most colors except for like a lot of shades of yellow.
Yeah. You want to know what's funny? My explicit least favorite color is red.
Damn.
I mean, I don't know what is about it.
Does this include or not include pink?
Oh, pink's fine.
Okay. Because technically pink is a...
Yeah, like a shade of red or whatever. I mean, like, I love purple, which
Maybe
is also
technically, it would be a tint of red, but...
Yeah, like, I like the stuff around red, but when you get into it, I'm just like, I don't know about this. I'm warming on it. I'm seeing its value.
Technically, a color is a different combination of other colors.
Shin's dot is red right now, and I literally don't know if you got picked that or got assigned it, but I'm thinking about that now.
Have I
No, I
worn
picked that
red
color.
around you? Ever... Like, red is like one of the few colors I wear.
You definitely you got hella red drip because you got the. All right, so anyway, we're back in a Kabancho whole hands a man a letter. I was just trying to kind of like shoot. Hey, Mouse Parker, shoot the breeze and see if we get back some viewers. We did not really, but Mouse Parker is here, and you know what? Sometimes it's a show for one. So Kabancho, you stride up on all six legs, and the he says, "I'm Carton the Ritter, and you are."
My name is
Your men
Kabancho.
just said who we are.
We are the Shade of the Mountain.
Yes, you're the Shade of the Mountain, but I didn't know all of the names of the company. But good to meet you then, Cabancho. And he says, yes, yeah, give that here. He opens up yours and he says, ah, I see. So we are not to occupy the town. It is quite an explicit order. However, he whips around and points. We are to occupy the ford, and he kind of like gets up and points at the river ford. It's like right on the far side of town, and it runs like into town. He's like, so I'm going to need to get my men across the river.
And if you listen to what I said earlier, Lord Tessin wanted us to handle it.
I don't see that part of the letter, but he puts up his hands.
You also presumed a lot of stuff about your rigger earlier, or about your lord earlier, didn't you?
And he says, well, a ritter in the field must act upon his discretion as best he can. I have new informations. I'm sure you mercenary couriers have great insight into the mind of Lord Luotesson, but yes, allow me to
It's as if
defer.
we recently met with him.
Oh yes, well, and he says, oh, well, very well, very well. Far be it from me to get in the way of the will of my liege. Men who will hold back while the Shade of the Mountain goes and handles the present scenario. He looks around at all of them gravely. And they're like,
Insight, because Lonnie does not actually, right now, does not actually believe that he's gonna just stand back.
Yeah, Kabancho's gonna insight this too. Below average.
9. Holy shit, all of you rolled. No. You rolled a 6 and got a 17. What the fuck?
Oh, Darren, you were supposed to at least roll a 9.
Sorry, I didn't roll a 9.
Ironically, thanks to expertise, though, you do a great job. So, Tento. Here's what you know, Toe.
Here's why I insight.
Yeah.
You just said, yeah, that.
You get the vibe that this fellow here, Carton the Ritter, is sort of making a show of, oh, we'll let them do it because he thinks that you're gonna, like, you know, fuck up or something's gonna go wrong. He's gonna have to come swooping in to save you. And that's when he's going to be like, ah, yes, I saved the Shade of the Mountain, your personal couriers who really played up getting to meet with you recently. And he thinks, like, you know, that's gonna be his ticket to good boy points with Lord Tessin.
The last. That's funny.
And he says, I'm sorry I didn't hear anyone pose a jape.
The fuck is a jape?
Madame Chitana says, perhaps I can help entertain everyone. I'm actually quite the puppeteer if you just let me set up a box. I do a good shadow play theater. And like, ooh, shadows, boss. Let's. What do you mean? We're not going to turn our gaze away from the river. Well, I could set it up such that it's facing you from the river. All right. Well, I will consent, but only because I really like puppets.
Lonnie's gonna say Lonnie's going to genuinely say like, I really wish we could stick around to see it.
Madame Chitana says, don't worry, we'll have plenty of time on the road. With a wink.
Was incredibly easy to like just convince him otherwise.
He was like, oh, puppets, you are real shit.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, like, puppets, ooh! I was like, oh, that was surprisingly easy, huh?
Alright, so,
Someone fucking takes puppets? I didn't remember that one.
So yeah, over the ridge, you can go down a winding lane and enter the town of Akai Bridge. Do you want to do so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go with a stamp stomp of the Machine of No Name, and Lonnie there with you, and Lumi under her, and Kuboshi out front, and Tento in the side, and Diane in the middle, and you all trudge and trundle over, and totter and yawn, and as you find yourselves at the Red Bridge, you see it's more of a ford. There are peasants And there is, you know, you took the ladder. What?
Letter.
Letter.
Sorry, that's my bad.
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
Camacho would have
presume
asked for
so.
the letter back.
Sure. You would have been like, I have received my orders. And then, you know, kind of awkwardly trail off.
Well, he's just gonna mutter stuff like man, I already hated war, but Ass was like, make it even worse.
Nice. So there's like a fellow, right, beside her. He's got like a sword in his waist, and he's like trying to talk to her. And a woman on a destrier, an imposing war horse with armor, sits
Oh wait,
below.
are you in the town?
You're like at the edge of the town. You've come over the ridge, and you're like going down. You see her on her horse right in front of the ford.
Lonnie is gonna at some point before we get to the town, just like put on the vestige clothes.
Alright. She sees you approach. And she watches you. She's in full garb, katana and wakizashi at her hip, aboard her armored horse, wearing a tall fish fin helmet with a mask plate you have already heard of, red and white. And Tento, you feel as if though you've seen a ghost. A ghost with that precise faceplate before. And the squire at her side is attempting to say something to her, but she waves him off and rides forth.
Oh, this is.
Lonnie's gonna. Oh, sorry.
She rides to the middle of the town and rears back her horse, and she calls out, "Oh, travelers, what brings you to Red Bridge?"
Lonnie's just gonna whisper to Tento really quick, I think that she might be related to the short sword, maybe.
No, strikes. I mean, she is. If she is, I'll give it back. But that's yet to be said.
Just the whole
Now, reminder,
prophecy thing.
you-
although I don't really know what's.
You did
the
find
answer.
a priest cutter, but you also found something else.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's the sword.
That's
that
what we're
he
talking
has.
about. Yeah.
Yeah. So she comes out and she's called out to you. Why asking your business here?
Cabancho will step forward, wave, and says, "Hello, my name is Cabancho. I was hoping that I could actually come talk to you."
And on what business do you seek to address me?
Well, we're in the business of keeping peace and trying to have a safe negotiation so that no one gets hurt on either side.
And on whose authority do you act?
Technically, no one's.
You tend to say that, right?
There's rumors
Yeah.
that endangered.
Technically,
and
no
we,
one's.
She
and
loosens,
we want to make sure that it continues as long as possible.
She loosens her shoulders a little at Tento's message, and he says, "So, you come here because you want peace. That is an admirable goal. But I am afraid that you come to the wrong camp. I am but a humble country ritter, tending to my village. It is the Tessons, and the Viceroy, the Duchess, if she can be so bothered to remove herself from her chambers to have audience, who you must treat with."
If we can't attain peace, we would, at the very least, like to hear your story and also convey to you what we have also heard.
And she takes you in, and she says, "Ah, one who is faithful of the Dream Wolf. An auspicious occasion. Well," she nods and says, "It is simple. I received a cowardly order and one which betrayed the people. It is clear that rot, dissolution, and disinterest have settled in the land. Though he has served us well before, the viceroy who has reigned here for hundreds of years grows idle and remote, obsessed and paranoid.
Do we know whose side the Viceroy is on?
The viceroy is, technically speaking, a vassal of the Duchess. Viceroys only, run a province for the person who really holds the flame. For example, Karkin Kitso, Garyon's dad, was viceroy of Safu province when you met him. So
But this
normally viceroys don't have a lot of power, but this guy is different. Because normally a viceroy is a really loyal person who's retired or whatever, or you give the job of looking over a province. But this dude has been the viceroy of this province for whoever happened to be regional power of the moment for hundreds of years.
But as far as we know, his allegiance is with the judge.
And 100%, the nobles of this province fight on the side of the Duchess. This is the Duchess's territory. The Duchess holds this lineal flame. So yeah, this is the Duchess's territory, regardless of if he didn't want that to be the case.
Okay.
I mean, he could go take the lineal flame, but you assume there's a reason after hundreds of years he never has. And so she says, the Viceroy is indifferent. The Duchess is callous and wages pointless war. In the south, the Tessin betray their ancient brethren. How can I accept the ancient pact between the Safu and the Tessin being broken in such a brutal war? And so I look to all sides and see none who I can trust, none who are worthy of my fealty. So I have come here to my home and my land to defend my people, as none of the Grafs around me are willing to.
You are aware of the ceasefire, correct?
I am aware of the ceasefire that was accepted. It put my town in the Tessin's hands. I will not allow it.
Are you not concerned that your actions here may start up conflict again and have your village caught up in the crossfire?
She says, violence will come either way. I do not seek to involve my people, but to defend them. They are already involved. If they seek to do battle, then I will ride out to meet them. And if I fall, it is not they who will die on the field.
But they will be held accomplice to your actions. Unfortunately, you do represent this village.
And this village will not sit around and wait for the Tessin's Tanto in the back. See what friendship gave the Safu clan. There is no trusting the blue and black banner.
If nothing else, I have yet to meet a warrior who can take on an army alone, let alone two.
She wavers a little and says, as far as the army north of this river is concerned, I may as well be a useful diversion. I have never officially disavowed them. I am simply acting in the best interest of the realm, contravening incompetent orders.
But you are, in sense, doing an act of betrayal to the Duchess. Breaking the ceasefire that the Duchess agreed upon. Let's say the Tessin does get pushed back, and you are here defending your village. The Duchess is gonna come after you for breaking that bond. She will hold you responsible. And you represent this village will be held responsible. Do you want that on your head?
She says,
there is a way we can negotiate this. This doesn't have to end with your village in ruins in one way or another.
She says, if you have no authority, then how can you negotiate?
We have our ways of meeting with people. And
Mm.
I give you my word that I can hold attendance to Lord Tessin.
Well, actually, we don't need to meet with people because
We have people for that.
no, just what things are already being done to try to uphold the peace. And I don't think we could influence that. What they have set out to do one way or the other. So we don't need to meet with anyone. People are already striving for the peace that we all hope for.
I cannot take you at your word when it comes to the clan Tessin. As for your
Take their actions instead. Have they not bought supplies and fairly shared a transaction instead of pillaging as most warlords would?
They pay, but do you know what happens to the villages that sell when the Duchess reclaims them? If I abandon this place to the Tessins and permit business to be done with the Tessin army here, and the Duchess wins, my villagers will be held to account. Your earlier argument comes back into sharp relief, Cabancho. There is no answer provided in standing down, so I have risen. I can't stand against an army, but no one has sent a whole army to Red Bridge. With the bridge of my ancestors a long distant memory, and the ford narrow and treacherous, it is good only for sorties and long, slow movements. It cannot be easily used to move supplies or an army column. So other crossings will be prioritized in the fighting. And when it is over, if they should dislike what I have done, perhaps they will give my village to another, and that my family will be left with nothing. But compromise has given my people nothing. And I stand here with pride and say that I will not be the last. I will not be the one of my clan to give away what little we had left.
Just to make sure I'm getting the implications correctly, like they have all like this village is already sold to Clan Tessin. So if what she says is true, and like the Duchess does,
so they
like, reoccupy this place, she's saying that like the Duchess will still punish them for having sold to Tessin.
The village hasn't sold anything yet.
Oh, okay.
Because she.
Okay, so that was stuff he did in other towns, and she's like, "No, you're not allowed in here." So okay.
Yeah, so she's trying to prevent the sale, which if the Duchess retakes it, there will be punishment for selling to the enemy. And
so right now they have a clean slate.
Right now they have a clean slate, and she's preserving it by holding it back.
Okay.
I was gonna turn to the group and say, "Can we just take her out and be over with?
Can we just what?
Take her out and be over with this?"
I don't think there is in there.
What is wrong with you?
There is a world where we could, but that's most likely gonna have some consequences.
That's not good thinking at all. What?
And
where do we know where the border is? That's not supposed to be crossed. Like, is it far from here?
It's like the river basically, but Tessin like barely claims the northern bank of it. In some places.
And the river is really close to here.
The river is like physically visible on this map.
Okay.
And she says, so your purpose of peace is to convince me to withdraw and offer me some assurances about the fate of my town?
Yes.
That's pretty spot on.
Do you have any solid proof that this town will not be molested by the forces of Clan Tessin as soon as I leave?
Yes. If you want me to
Lonnie-
approach, I can show
Yeah.
you.
Lonnie is just gonna like try to like look like she's like pushing Kabancho towards her, but she's also gonna cast guidance.
Mm-hmm. The people
I
kinda, like-
trust you.
The
Wink.
people have gathered to their windows and their doorways, and they're watching it unfold. And the squire is at her side, and she says, "Very well then, Cabancho, approach."
I guess Kabancho's significantly bigger than you. They'll probably hide any kind of casting.
If I'm behind you, maybe too.
Yeah. Lee, something I mentioned earlier, but the game is paused and we are not allowed to move.
Oh, sorry. To me, I don't see that, but I'll toggle it and see if it fixes it. Are you on pause now?
Yes.
Sorry,
Ooh.
sometimes when I load in, it doesn't... Like, I saw that and I was like, oh, well, did I already unpause? I'll, like, just toggle it every time you guys mention that in future.
It also usually like mentions that like the game is paused beforehand. Oh well.
Yeah, just, like, for whatever reason, it didn't say itself. Like, to me, I turned it on to pause and turned it off, but sometimes it's just wonky like that. So,
Yeah, there's always a
so
sync problem.
Cabancho, so Zion and the Machine No Name start coming up, and she holds up a hand and she says, "One of you approach."
Okay.
Like, she does that, like, when you're, like, halfway there. So the question is, like, Zion and the Machine No Name. Yeah, okay. She says, "Hand me the letter."
I'd prefer not to hand it to you completely. At least not.
She says,
until-
she just, forgive my turn of phrase, show it to me.
Sure. And I pull out the letter and show her the letter.
She looks it over. She nods.
If you want proof,
Are you yelling back?
some soldiers south of here. Yeah, we came from the south, right? South of here recently received these orders and should be crossing the river. They said they were gonna cross the river.
So she looks at all of you, and she says, "You bear me this news from Uyo Tessen's desk. Pray tell, why should I not believe this is merely a ruse to get me to leave?"
Because we hold good standing with Clan Tessin. They owe
Perhaps
us
you-
a favor.
Well, there was a great many favors owed between the Safu clan and the Tessen clan.
You spoke of what happened with the Safu and Tessin.
Yes.
Is the current leader of Tessin also the one who did that war?
Yes.
Okay.
Ryu Tessen, the first man to lead Tessen clan, and as prophesized, he's leading them into ruin.
Well, if nothing else, they are, at least to me, it seems like they are trying to make amends for that breach in treaty. There was a resistance formed of Safu clan members, and although, well, actually, did they just tell? Oh yeah, and they were agreeable to negotiations, and now I see those same people who were part of that resistance now also fighting for Tessin.
She mulls it over, and she says there are many reasons one changes sides, most often because your side is lost. But
That's a good point.
I did recently speak with a close friend, and though she is unhappy that Tessin still rules over her, the land that belongs to her, that once belonged to her clan, she would still rather see peace, even if it is someone else who brings about it.
she nods. And, one of the peasants from the doorway calls, "You should take this deal, Hayami. We will be safe. Surely the Duchess can't punish everyone who sells wheat. Please, go, save yourself. And she says, I cannot abandon you.
Plus, these orders actually do not. They state that this village is not to be interfered with. Your village has a choice to sell or not. You don't have to.
And could you not still keep a watchful eye across the river? And still uphold the ceasefire?
And the people are coming and saying, yeah, listen to them, come on. And she looks around and she says, your words do not move me, but you have convinced my people. And she looks down and she says, you truly believe that Clan Tessin will not break their word. But what if they do? What comfort can you offer me then, if something befalls my town because I have left?
From across the river, would you not have a good vantage point of Tessin reaching this order?
By the
Since
time,
they shouldn't be in the village in the first place?
well, they intend to man the ford, so there would be people in the way of me getting back here. But even then, if I was across the river, it could be too late.
Unfortunately, there is not a great army that I could tell you that will march on this land and fight back on Clan Tessin. But as soon as Clan Tessin starts breaking their word, there are great many promises and enemies, there are great many promises that will break. The trust will be gone, and Clan Tessin will once again have great many enemies.
To me, the day has already come, but perhaps... She looks around and she says, no. I cannot quit this field with the enemy outside. And her peasant, her like squire dude is kind of like looks at you guys pleadingly, and he's trying to think of something. And Tento, I have a question.
Yeah.
Where do you have the lineal blade?
That is in my pack.
Uh-huh. And is it like poking out or anything?
Nope.
Alright.
Is it if it's on you, is it physically possible for it to not poke out?
She says this.
I guess you could wrap it.
She says this is the last legacy handed to me by my ancestors. I will die here with what little is left of our name.
Except you will kill this village with you.
Not if I seek single combat.
Okay, Ten's just gonna sigh and just pull out the sword.
You are breaking a ceasefire.
And
I do not think anyone will honor your word and honor you with a single combat.
ceasefire was the... and then as she's about to say this, Tento whips out the sword. And the moment she sees the hilt, her eyes go wide. And she says, that weapon, it couldn't be. A reproduction? You. Would you draw that blade? And there's sort of a hushed, like, what the fuck? From the peasants.
Tento's just gonna draw the blade.
There's a deep inlay of metal in and around, a strange curvature and excavation as if though for something else to lay into. And she gazes upon it. And she says, it can't be. Is that... She blinks hard and she says, how do you have that sword?
Tento sheaves it and goes,
Lonnie is
found
going
it.
to try to look like she's saying a prayer and just quickly tap Tento. Because he's in Oh no, never mind.
I've-
Fuck, he moved up.
Yeah, and
I
she
was
says,
given this blade. Sorry,
You-
I was given this blade.
and she says, if you were entrusted with that blade.
He
Mhm.
got it from the lady. Okay.
The lady?
Got it from a.
No. Sorry. I'm
sorry.
thinking out of character.
Yeah.
I got it from. I believe it was the ghost lady, right?
It was
the-
a skeletal hand like stabbed out of the ground with it to hand it to you.
I got it from.
Oh right, because it didn't spawn until after the.
Yeah, got it from somewhere, and I felt like I should give this back to someone, but I wasn't quite sure who.
So you have arrived, bearing me news to trust Tessin clan and withdraw from here with my sword, my family's sword. I will agree to all of your terms on one condition. I am the last living warrior of the family for which that blade was forged so many centuries ago. Restore my lineal blade to me. You will forever know my family's friendship.
Real quick, what is the relevancy to her family, to like the world?
Well, she is a Ritter who owns one village, however, you note that she actually has tied on her shoulder, it's not even the banner of the other family anymore, a red and white, I forget what they're called when they're just tied on you, but basically, like, she's repping the colors of the clan that was at the Battle of the Shrine, that doesn't exist anymore. But once they own this province.
Also, Lonnie has been trying to. Well, there was the prophecy of the clan rising and stuff, and then Lonnie did in the telepathy stuff, like mentioned. Yeah, I think it's related to the sword, and then right before coming here, is all like, yeah, I think she's related to the sword.
She's definitely related to the third.
So if you remember anything about the prophecy,
So-
that might also help.
So, like, what would happen if she did get this sword?
You believe that when the rightful wielder holds it again, its magic will be restored.
But like, what happens?
What do you think she will do with it?
Yeah, like what
Asking?
what would happen if she?
Do you ask her? Do you think about it? Do you try and do insight?
Yeah, actually, I'll ask her. It's like, what happens when you get this sword? Like,
She
what
looks
will
at-
you do?
She says, "You're right. I'm here in a desperate situation, with no victory in sight, and no army behind me, and nothing to my name but a village I'm fighting for because I have watched as the very tail end of everything my family had slid away. But that sword has arrived in the presence of a priestess of the Dream Wolf, from someone who has been entrusted with it by this Anorak who tells me he is a man of great influence and has Tessin's ear, who has arranged for this, who delivers this. Yes, it is a sign. I will leave here at once with that sword. I return to the northern camps, but I will not prepare for war with the south. I will let that blade lead me where honor and duty dictate."
Ah, gosh.
If the Duchess's impartial reign continues to slam against the South, there will be seasons of pain and seasons of war. But if I held that blade, her voice trails off and she shrugs and she says, "I don't know. Maybe I'll be killed by the first bandit I encounter, or perhaps fate will deal me a poisoned apple upon the road. Perhaps I will take ill and die. Perhaps nothing will come of it at all. I will die alone without my village clutching a sword I have never held. But when I look in that blade's steel and see how it glints, I know that I am running from my real enemy. And I know, with the strength in that blade, I will show the strength of my soul to my fellow Ritters. So again, I will accept all of your terms, so long as you hand me that sword. And you will know my eternal friendship. In this life and beyond. And her eyes are going wide, and the peasants are muttering amongst themselves. Is that the lineal blade? Blade of the clan? One of Grandpa used to talk about. I thought that was a story. It's real. Don't see any magic? You normally see magic? What? How would I know? I've never seen anyone do magic.
Tinta's gonna walk up to her and just like,
Oh,
For, like,
Lonnie
put
is
it-
so tempted to just minor illusions, some magic effects.
Tinta's gonna hold it out.
Mm-hmm.
Just wait for her to grab it.
Damn, look at all those cuties. Yes, Snipe Chris, we do have many cuties. So, you offer, and she says,
Now,
you offer me this blade for your own reasons, but with it, you earn my friendship.
but as she grabs that, I hold on to like, now, if you lose your way, I was supposed to give this to the person who's the rightful owner. If you lose your way, I'm taking it back.
She looks at you with a grave sincerity and says, if I lose my way, then cut me down, and let this blade fall to the one who is meant to wield it. This is my one chance to set right what is wrong.
Okay, he nods and lets go.
She takes the blade, she slides it open, and there is a red glow that emerges through all of the grooves of the blade, and it washes over the sword and sparks. Her eyes light up. Her light gray eyes light up. She slicks it shut into the sheath, ties it to her hip, dismounts her horse, and bows to Tento. And she says, with this, you begin my path. As though I am born again. No, I insist, please.
No, stop, please.
And she takes her katana that she has on her hip, her other one, and she offers it to you. And she says, a sword for a sword.
I'm never gonna say no to the free weapon. Now,
All
please
right.
stop bowing. I
She gets up and she says, my people, it will be some time before I see you again. Whatever you do, know that I forgive you. And that I apologize and hope you can forgive me for leaving you. And they say, please go. Live, you can always return later. We can hide in the woods if the Duchess or someone else tries to punish us. You just preserve your life at all costs. She shakes her head and says, no. I have been given a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Squire? Yes? You are riding the horse. I am? I've ridden long enough. It's time to cross that river. And he's like, oh, okay, ma'am. He's like trying to hop on the huge war horse. And they, do you ask that?
I'm actually, obviously I would know the distance, right? Because that's where I came from.
Which where did you come from?
Our place.
Oh, from your castle?
Yeah.
It's like over a week's travel, I think. At least several days.
Several days or a week? Several days, I think, is like a couple, like 3 days.
It's pushing a week depending on your times, but if you stay on the roads, you're good.
How many people are on this thing in this village?
You can safely assume there's like 2 to 3 dozen residents based on your quick survey of the nearby and scattered houses and farmsteads. There's
Darren, do
probably
you say any of this out loud?
No, but I am curious. That would probably be fun.
That's probably
I mean,
not gonna
the
fly.
peasants don't presently look like they want to leave the land. They just want
I'll see if they're
to
forced
live.
to. It's not
And-
like I'm saying like if they want a place to hide. Well,
I mean, this village's gonna have to walk across a
And-
bunch of
I know.
Tessin
That's
patrols and camps,
Yeah, and
and
she also Emmy says, "Kneel in the saddle." Yes, and she whips out the blade, and she like daps him up,
oh,
and she says, "A stein," and this dude runs out with a stein, already poured with beer, drinks, hands it to him, he drinks, and they both grab it, and she says, "You are my first Ritter, and I am the Lady Aimi of the clan Utsuke, and we ride again." And she says, "When next we meet..." It's a fairly nice katana. It has the same coloration pattern of red and white patterning, and it's got like a little like red-white cord dangly off of the end.
mhm.
And it's got what looks like a gold painted hilt.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't look like necessarily a masterwork or anything. It doesn't look like she was
Yeah,
presently living in a way that could afford a masterwork. Like the helmet and the mask are clearly heirlooms.
Mhm.
And the horse, who knows? It does look nice. But yeah, the lady Itsuke says her goodbyes to you, and she says, "When next we meet, Kabansho, you told me there was no way to ensure peace by force of arms because if the Tessin broke their word, there was no army you could summon. But the next time we meet, that will no longer be true." And she turns to the waters, and the village sees it.
Wait. Lonnie wants to try to say something to her before she turns
Yep.
to leave.
Yep.
She tries to say quietly, so the other people who aren't like in the immediate vicinity,
Sure,
any like
yeah.
our new ridders,
Yeah.
but she's like, also while Clan Tessin may want peace, it seems like some of his men have an aggressive view, or like look down upon you and think that you should be punished for the transgression. So I would just keep an eye out still.
She says,
This will be fine, but
She says, "The clan Tessin will be the least of my concerns on the path that I walk. But I appreciate your warning." And she looks out wistfully across, her hand death gripping the hilt of this blade, and she says, "It's time for us to go, but tell me, what is your name, priestess?"
every single time, like I should come up with a fake name.
So you say she's a ranger?
Lonnie.
your fake name's Tento.
And she says,
No, I'm not pulling that shit again.
she says, "Lonnie, may you pray to Saint Nabiki for my ascent. For it is a dream that I follow. A dream I have held my whole life." And she,
I feel like you will succeed, Lonnie says, thinking back to the vague prophecy that Hane gave.
mhm. And, she says, "Then with that, I steel myself." She looks almost like she's not sure she should try doing something, but she pops her thumb up, and you hear the of the blade coming out of the handle, the hilt, the scabbard, and she takes it by the handle, goes into a low stance, and in a single motion cuts out with the red sparking blade, and as if though a red beam of light dances and crackles into the river. My lady, my Ritter, my oh gosh, we're mixed titles. I'm coming. And he begins to ride the warhorse, clearly not accepting
How
him.
far did she get?
She got like a good 20 feet dash off of that Yatsu strike, and now she's like in the water, like, oh fuck, that actually happened. And she's kind of like capsized, and she gets back up and she waves to you, as the her first ritter, her horse, and she cross the waters.
Tinder waves like, yeah, she'll probably be fine. She looks like she'll be fine.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the puppet plays closing up top, and people see that the village is cleared.
Clapping.
Yeah, and the Yumi Ritter swaggers down with his boys, and he says, "Ah, well, I see you took care of it. But I can't help but ask, what was that sword?"
That is none of your business.
I'm pretty sure I just witnessed.
Wait, is that the guy from down south?
They were watching from the ridge.
Lonnie is gonna walk up like, I'm pretty sure you have orders to not be here.
He says, "Well, of course," but he points to the.
So out.
He says, "Yes."
No,
He points to the ford. And he says,
so.
"Yes,
Yeah,
we're
you
just
can see me
walking.
pass.
We're just crossing the ford. You have my word. We have received explicit orders." And they walk through, and the peasants kind of watch as they go, a little tensely. Shigaro, like, by the way, the puppet show was pretty good, and
That's good.
and they trundle off, and by the time they're there, Lady Aimee is already disappeared into the horizon. Peasants.
I'm assuming we're gonna cross them when we inevitably head north. But
Well, you don't have to fight. You don't take this forward on the main road to Merco. So.
oh, okay.
Damn.
Well, before that guy crosses, then I will. I mean, to put it blunt, I'll threaten him to make sure that he
Yeah.
honors one the
Yeah.
order
Yeah.
and
Go!
honors the spirit
Yeah.
of the order.
What do
and
you
not
say?
Just
What do you
literally
say?
what it said.
What's the threat?
You were very literal with the order received earlier, but I pray that you don't disobey the spirit of this order. This village is not to be messed with.
Lonnie just
There are-
yeah. Oh wait, no, you're not talking.
There are more consequences than just clandestine for breaking this. We took ownership of this dispute and its resolution.
He looks at you and he says, "Then I will keep that in mind and keep my distance. And should this resolution come to ill pass, I will be sure to let Lord Tesson know." And he
Lonnie's just
Good-
gonna
good
add,
boy.
and if we find out that you haven't obeyed the spirit of the order, we'll be sure to let him know too.
he says that it seems we understand each other perfectly. He trundles off into the water, somewhat pissed off.
Bye, bitch.
What an arse.
Yeah, and Madame Chitana comes down with her donkey, and she says, "Oh,
Eddie Murphy.
is there time for a puppet show? Is it a puppet show?" And someone says, "Hey," and they whip out like a wheel of Gouda, and she's like, "You want some cheese? You're not clandestine, right? That doesn't count."
We are not
Yeah,
clandestine.
sure.
But
4
I look
silver
at
for the
the-
whole wheel.
Jeez.
I look at the clock in the sky. I'm like,
It's
are we gonna camp here the night?
It's starting. You think that you get another town. You think you get almost to the city, but not quite. It's going to be another day's travel either way, but you think you could carry on.
Just carry on, yeah.
Lonnie
yeah,
is
I'll
gonna
buy them.
say, like, while we appreciate your the intent, and though we may not be a clandestine, we don't want our actions to be misconstrued. We don't want your actions to be misconstrued in any way. But she for sure has no association with clandestine, so.
Oh, so we don't have a solution. I'll buy the fucking wheel.
Yeah, well,
I'll buy some cheese.
for 4 silver, you got a wheel of Gouda.
I like how
I'll give
Lonnie
her- I'll-
just
I'll
said that
give
we
her
won't
a-
buy anything from you. Just
Tento's just like,
Nintendo's
what?
like handing money as is
Lonnie
being said.
just.
What? I gave her 8 silver, by the way.
Nice, and she says, "Oh, bless you. You're truly a miraculous man. Your first miracle, you come in here with the lineal blade, and you convince our leader to set out on a great journey and save herself. And then, you overpay half again for my wheel of Gouda. It is a
you could
Gouda
do us-
day.
If
Oh
it's
my
if it's
God.
all
The
the
cheese.
same, if
Ento,
anyone
sanctum
asked,
cheese.
you sold that to a lady with a donkey.
Madame Chitana says, "Indeed, and I paid a great price for it." Wink.
If you could also do us a favor,
Um,
if you could not mention the lineal blade to just anyone,
And she's like,
uh,
I feel like I'm doing a
that
lot of
will have
favors.
implications
Oh, wow.
way beyond what we can
She
influence.
says, oh, I feel like there are a lot of favors being bandied around here. I don't remember being handed a magic sword, but my lips are sealed. I would say nothing that would cause I mean, the lady Aimee to fall into any disarray.
Yeah, we just
I
we just brought a peace offering when we came to deliver the message.
Yes, well, I am a loyal woman of hers, and she has done right by me, so I will do right by her. My lips are sealed. And everyone in the village quickly agrees. No one's going to say anything.
ooh,
Of course, there were some witnesses, but, you know, they can at least control the spread somewhat of...
Well, do we want to take a short rest and watch a puppet show, maybe?
do
Yep.
you need a short rest?
Well, if you think that, yeah, I mean...
I think we should hit the road.
Oh, we don't have
Okay.
a
I
wagon.
also think we should get going.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you guys, you hit the road, right? It is a good day's travel, and it's approaching night, and you cross the border where like there are groups of soldiers watching. The Duchess's soldiers don't like approach to stop you or anything, but they definitely give you that we're watching you on.
I wave at them.
I was like, Kapacha also happily waves at them.
Zion will follow suit and wave.
Yeah. Lonnie looks around confused, but then also just waves ecstatically. Like, wait, do we know them?
No, we're saying
Oh,
fuck
no,
you
we
to
don't.
authority.
I thought we
Lonnie.
did. Oh,
No, we're saying fuck you to authority. Or at least I am. I don't know what Kapancho's doing.
all right. Zion will write down
Oh.
waves means fuck you to authority.
Lonnie
You have to make
waves
sure you
even
wave
more.
at the authorities though when you do this. Otherwise, it's just a friendly wave.
Lonnie
It's
waves
another
even more
person.
enthusiastically now, which probably is more insulting.
Oh, look at Lonnie growing up to be a little rebel that she is. So proud.
Would you like a lift?
Do you start waving Lonnie as Lonnie starts waving?
Oh, look at them defy the authority. Brings a tear to my eyes.
And I was
Hey,
gonna
do we-
imagine what they're thinking, like, what the fuck are these adventurers doing?
Although, just in case, do we have like the letter of the guy inviting us to dinner on us, or did we leave that
You know,
behind?
No, you have that letter.
gonna-
You
I'm
definitely
gonna
have that
assume
letter.
I'm
Okay.
gonna assume we're competent enough not to forget such an important item.
You
Yeah, we probably have to show it to the people. in
You
town
show up
anyway,
like
yeah.
we were invited for dinner. Oh, where's your invitation?
Alright,
Yeah.
let me head home real quick.
Yeah.
What?
You do actually, however, like there is like an outrider on the road who comes upon you as it's getting late and says, "I don't know who. Oh, why I marked the shade of the mountain. By all means, make your way. The Viceroy has let us know to expect you. Every soldier upon the road will know that as the shade of the mountains comes to sup, I will send a message ahead of you that you will be close to arriving.
Well, much appreciated.
Of course, you are the
once we're
honored
walking
guest of the
there.
Viceroy." And they all
Right.
seem very eager to, you know, greet the everyone who recognizes that you're the guest of the Viceroy is very eager to please. You guys, it's like afternoon, right? Like it's starting to get dark. But it's summer, so you know it gets dark light. However, and I promise, this is the last pit stop before the city. I fucking promise. I fucking promise, okay? I promise. This is a DM promise. You
All
have
right,
my
you know
word.
what we have to do? We
I-
have to make him break that promise.
I'm
We'll make
saying
it
this.
accurate.
I'm saying this for the benefit of dear Kai.
Let's-
This is the
Let's
last
go,
one,
West,
Kai.
guys. Let's go.
You come
I don't know where we're
upon
heading.
you come upon a scene that looks grim indeed. As the day darkens, you enter upon the road towards this village. You see villagers lined up and various soldiers looking over them. It does not appear to be a happy time, as it were. And this officer and halberdiers are overlooking them. Look to the south and they say, "How now, interlopers? This is no affair of yours." And the villagers look like pleadingly. They've been tied up.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you
Well-
hear. Yeah, what do you do?
Cabaldo's
It
gonna
is
walk.
no.
Oh god.
It is none of our business. Oh. All right.
Oh no, I thought. Wait, how close are we? Wait, where are we? Like, are we supposed to be like closer to these
You,
people or
you,
further
you,
away?
you start out like here-ish, but you can quickly move wherever you
Oh,
want
so
to
he
go.
just yelled at us when we were just like in his line of sight.
Yeah, you're like 50, 60 feet away. With that being said, you look like at night you could be an armored column of people, and like he probably wants to know.
Fucking
What the fuck is
yelling
up
at
there?
us,
Lonnie
like,
is
the
gonna go
fuck?
back to her favorite disguise of worried traveler for their trip, and is gonna call out like, we're just trying to pass through. Is there some
Yeah, why are you
danger
yelling
that
at
we
us?
should? Is there some danger we should be aware about? Like
And
what?
they say, the village of Weifeld is under investigation for smuggling. You don't want to be here. And they kind of like leer forward a little, and then there is the sound of some sort of bird going at like Mach 5. You see a dark eminence swooping out from the dying of the light, and you see a familiar aperture twinkling purple as a familiar unseen face emerges, as it is none other swooping down on Griffinback
Okay.
than
Oh,
Herr
Griffinback.
Axel Van
I
Bien
think we all.
Zu Hotchland, as his faithful griffin steed, Artisan, tears up the fucking ground. He leaps from the back of the griffin and says, "You vagabonds, at once! Are you not loyal servants of the Duchess? How dare you molest the common people in this fashion? What is the meaning of this? These are not soldiers." He walks up and he has on his hip the aperture of justice, a star steel rapier glistening with the purple-framed umbral black speckle and white dots, burning with the white of a distant star. He says, "I will not have such unchivalrous conduct done beneath the good mon of her house. Undo them at once! I command you!" But you don't understand. We're having an investigation. You can very well investigate them without having them tied up. Or are you too afraid of 6 peasants that you have forgotten all honor and good conduct? And they say, "We were just meeting with them." And he point by and he says, "It is Cabancho in the shade of the mountain. It has
Hello
been some
again,
time."
friend.
Ah. He turns and he says, "Now, you, untie all of them at once. The superior commanders will be hearing about this. Artisan, ensure that they are very chivalrous in their conduct." And the fucking griffin just watches them, like with the exact same expression on that art, watches them. And Herr Anselm walks out and says, "A surprise, but a welcome one to be sure. To meet those of honorable conduct here in the field, where I have shamefully come upon this cesspit of Sunda that has seen people fighting under my own banner, behaving unchivalrously. Tell me,
I'm
is
sure it was a
been-
misunderstanding, and I'm sure it won't happen
It's not-
again.
it's
Well,
not
we will
misunderstanding.
be bringing it. We will be bringing it to the tensions of the top level. See if it was. But it is good to encounter you, although it is a shame to encounter you under such circumstances. Tell me, how fares fair Sorajo to the south? When last I left you, you were in the midst of a great battle. I apologize for having fled from your side then after only a meager participation. But my Duchess, he looks out longingly, though I was then a Ronin, had great need of me.
Well,
This guy's strange.
Sorja Keep is actually in great order. We've cleaned up the place very nicely, and it is now a thriving place that no longer is infested with spirits and undead.
What pleasant and wonderful news. It is as a sweet succor. Yes, I shall have to invite you to my hall, I in Hotchland, and I call upon yours the day this war is over.
Yes, hopefully the ceasefire lasts and we can avoid any unnecessary death.
He's face downtrodden a little, and he adjusts his little coat hold lapels that are little wings, and he says, "Yes, although I am afraid the odds of this ceasefire ending in no more violence are perhaps low, we may hope that there is only good conduct and fair battle that awaits." And the peasants have been undone, and they're kind of looking around. The officer says, your Rittership, there's still a very important matter here." And he says, "Yes, of course." And he says, "And you looking for someone to investigate, yes?" Well, yes. As you know, there have been accusations of smuggling." Ah. He turns to the south, and his eyes seem to light up, and he says, "Say, you, Shade of the Mountain, you haven't been to Mercou before, have you? This is your first time in the province."
Mhm.
Oh, that is correct.
And certainly you've never been to the village of Weifeld before tonight.
Not to my knowledge.
And though you do lie within the lands of Clan Tessin, you are not their sworn vassals.
This is correct.
He turns around and says, "I have found the perfect neutral intermediaries." Now, I would hate to impose, he turns and says, "but I am sure you would want to know if there was someone engaging in scurrilous behavior. Particularly one that would threaten the ceasefire."
We will, but we're so heavily booked today. Like, we're not taking any extra
Isn't-
reservations.
So we
Sorry,
just,
is
We just
it-
gotta
is
get
it-
going.
Is it almost nighttime?
It's
or-
it's summer,
Yeah.
so it stays light late, but it's basically time to sleep. You
And
can't.
how much longer
guess-
till Mirko?
Mercou is tomorrow. Tomorrow you will reach Mercou. It's just.
I mean,
like,
like
it's just-
it's not a if we push through now we can get there before
no,
night.
you are
Okay.
gonna after tonight. You walk and like a half day or whatever. You're gonna make it.
Okay.
Oh, so I guess it's just like, I mean, we do need a place to stay, and we might as well be useful, right, guys?
Kiki, if nothing else, like we have to leave tomorrow anyways. If we happen
Yeah.
to find the answer before then, if we hopefully find the answer before then, we let them know. Otherwise, we
It's just-
need to move on.
It's just
Maybe.
pretty round their smuggling being done here, right? That's easy enough. I've done a few smugglings.
Besides, like
Nope.
we need to get there for dinner, not lunch.
Yeah, when he hears you say you've done a few smugglings, he says, "Ha, yes, surely in a very honorable context." Like he's really.
I just look at him like, blink, yeah, honorable.
Sorry, I don't know if you remember Scout, but he says a lot of jokes, even though he's not
yes.
really funny.
Japes.
I'm
of course.
hilarious.
Chitana leads forth her donkey, and she says, "Well, if it's all the same to you, I'll port her donkey here and perhaps investigate the insides of that common house and see if there's perhaps floor room available. It doesn't look like they have beds."
Lonnie
We
is
can
just
camp
going
outside.
to. Lonnie's just gonna hand her like how much? How much would you estimate for like an in room for the night?
And
I guess
man,
she'll hang.
the man in the tavern pokes his head out the window and says, "Tavern, actually, I don't have rooms, but one copper to sleep on the floor."
Okay.
Lonnie's just gonna hand the madame like 2 gold coins.
Says many
Like-
thanks, and she tips him well. He's like, "Oh," and there's one other person in here, who seems to be chatty, but so you guys, Hair Anselm whips these soldiers into shape, gets them away, and gives them a dressing down. The peasants return to their homes for the night.
Yeah.
And
Unfortunately,
Herr Anselm says, the people say, "We promise we have nothing to do with any smuggling in this town. And we've already, the people who sold food to the Tessins were already punished. Isn't that enough?" Herr Anselm Van Bien Zushotland says, "There's no further reason to disturb the peace here, other than the matter of this smuggling."
Hey Kiki, you're good with the fancy smashy types. Like, do you want to ask the uptight shoulders with some details about the suspicions?
Yeah, I'm sure the soldiers will be happy to talk with
Okay.
us.
Tento's
Lonnie's just gonna pop a guidance on him before he goes.
Especially
Tento's gonna go wander off in the village. Like, I'm gonna go find out if they're smuggling.
Yeah. So,
Definitely
so
talk to them.
Tento, here's the two things that stand out to you. There's a house on this hill. It seems it's like a very slight hill, I should say. But
Yeah.
there's a height at the end of this lane. You see, it's new. It's fairly small, and it's kind of like facing towards some thickets that wouldn't be that bad to get out of town. And then there's the tavern, and you know all sorts of business happens there because that's where people go to drink.
Mhm.
And
Hento, can't you
Yes.
just ask the lady if they've been doing any smuggling around here?
Yeah, Scout, aren't you gonna like talk about that grandma of yours? I'm sure they would love to hear.
That's the lady. What? What are you talking about?
Madame Shidana.
Why would she know anything about what's going on here?
She was in charge of smuggling stuff.
Oh,
That's
I
good
thought
to
you
know.
were
she
implying
did a
that
lot of
Zion
the
knows
crime
these-
we're investigating, as it turns out, my dear boy. Zion says, bubble pipe coming out.
Oh yeah, you're right. Should probably be a good person to ask real quick.
He's a goody dangerous boy. Yeah, so,
Yeah, and Scout, don't you usually find people like don't you like find like-minded people when you talk about your grandma or something, right? That's a thing.
Yeah, but you see, the authorities are here. They tend to disappear when authorities are here, or hide better.
Artisan is sort of like hulking behind Anselm, sort of looming over him. Goes Cabancho, and Anselm says, "Come now, Artisan. Cabancho is a friend of good conduct. Allow us to make him feel at home." Artisan continues to give you an eagle glare, but you know. Herr Anselm turns to Cabancho and says, "Now, Cabancho, what was it you wanted to talk to me about?" And this dude says, "Hey, why are you coming through my kitchen? That's where I keep my olive oil." You can't help but note that by his accent, his dress, and his strong connection to his olive oil, you suspect the man is of Iscadonian heritage.
Kitchen.
He's like,
What?
yeah,
Oh,
he
shit,
points,
my
he's like,
bad.
there's some storage there, there's some meat hung up.
I just walked through the first door I saw. My bad, man.
Well, that's the back door. He points. He says, "Well, it's no harm, no foul." But he says, "This Madame Chitana here has already paid for your stay on the floor." And the other guy in the room, kind of like gives a wave, and he looks like he's pretty good, well off. Yes, I was just talking to Dorian here, and
Dorian is...
he says, "Ah, well, I'm a local trader." And
But trading what?
says, I deal with those who handle exotic metals and a street alchemist who can do amazing things. You've never met anyone like him. Those interested in arcanery and forging are well suited to life in Mercou.
You wouldn't happen to do anything with the loud noises outside, would you?
He says, this dust up with the authorities? No.
Oh, why can't I move?
They're just like instant.
Inside check.
We're catching a bit of Jake.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Really? A 2? God freaking shit. Damn it. Fuck.
I
That
mean,
makes
it's above
if
average.
I
It's still above average with a 2.
I wonder if I make it. Can I make someone make it a negative minus it by 1 and make it a 1 and reroll?
You're not sure if you're getting yes or no vibes here. You're thinking maybe he's not laying on to everything. Yeah, Cabancho, what do you want to ask Anselm?
Ansem.
Air
And so-
Anselm, we don't mind helping out with this investigation, but I was wondering if you could give us some more information. Do you know what is being smuggled?
He says there is a mix of basic supply and material. We know that there is smuggling because some crates were found in a river. However, there was no boat or anything else present. But some of the materials included things like Teichstahl and other materials that wouldn't flow freely out into the countryside and south towards the battle line.
Out of character. If they're doing this based on craze, it sounds like they need to be charging for littering, not just smuggling.
Yep.
Yes.
So,
Like that, I don't know. That just seems.
And
we've also noted that some places' stores are well below what they should be. I'm certain that the villagers are aware of it because all of the nexus of travel checks out that this is the center of it. Surely someone here has seen something. All they need to do is relay whatever passers-by they've witnessed or whatever other activities, and we'll have these men on their way.
And would you be sticking around to the end of the investigation?
And Herr Ansem says, "Of course, as a matter of honor, I will not depart until I'm sure that these peasants have been treated fairly."
And lastly, do you have any inclination on if the material was being smuggled north or south?
I believe that this material is flowing south to the Tessin clan. That is why it is such grave concern to the Duchess.
Okay.
The Viceroy is... Well, the Viceroy takes a laissez-faire approach to many things.
Okay. I think that's all the questions for now. I appreciate
Certainly.
your cooperation.
I and my dear Artisan will be here if you need us. He pats the griffin and goes, "Wah!" And, ooh, Lonnie, you have a detect spell up. What are you trying to detect?
It's not detect. It only wants to speak with plants.
Sure. The grass blades sway in the breeze as Lumi says, "Oh, I see. You like to talk to plants now. I'm sure they're very fascinating."
Molly doesn't want to say anything bad about the plants whether they can hear her, but she does indeed think that they're very boring to talk to right now.
It's not like I
when
want
it's-
you to talk to me, Baka.
Yeah, it's not... Yeah, I never talk to animals anymore, Baka. So,
Molly tries to eavesdrop on animals all the time. I mean, wait, what?
yeah. So,
Molly wants to ask them if there's been extra carts coming through here.
no extra cards.
Anything like anyone carrying anything like particularly heavy.
Big box uphill. And they sort of like a sway easterly. By the way, Zion, as you're like stepping here, Dorian says, "Oh, I believe that's your armored friend approaching my house." And points past Tento.
Sorry, quick question about the box. What direction were they carrying it from? Like, did they come from south or north?
They say east.
Wait, from the east?
Yeah. From the east and to the... Everything seems to be east of this position.
Wait. They were carrying it from east to east?
Mm-hmm. East to east.
Can I ask them to like bend down and like if they've been like walked on by this heavy crate?
Yeah, it looks like it's the grass like into and out of this dude's house.
Zion's gonna knock on the door.
Alright, and
But it
Dorian's
didn't
like,
come from anywhere else?
and Dorian comes, he's like, "Hello, yes, that's my house."
So, madame,
Um,
Have you worked with this gentleman before? And Simple works points at Dorian.
And Chitana says, no, but I think I know of him. I think he's got connections in Mirko. I don't know why he's living in the countryside, though. He is a merchant. He wasn't lying about being a merchant with connections in metallurgy. And
I
so
would like to investigate.
and Dorian says, "Oh, certainly." And he opens the door and he says, "It's a humble home, but I have this, and under the floorboards here," he steps a bit. I have some storage. It is a small circular home, no more than 15 span across. And indeed, if you peel around, give me an investigate to just like search the whole place, Zion. And Lonnie, yeah, so like the arc they show is that like east and north of this house, and then coming into the door and then coming out.
Okay, I was like, if you're okay,
Yeah,
okay,
so
that makes more sense.
and Zion, you look all over. There is absolutely no evidence of anything being here, but there is something that stands out to you. It is like lower storage, which has like a fair deal of grain and rice and millet and things that a merchant would have down there, like rope. Most of the space is unaccounted for, and the unaccounted for space that's open isn't dusty. It's a lot less dusty than you expect. It almost looks like the dustier corners have had dust like flashed, like hand wiped over the other sections to make it look more disused than it is. And there's netting. There's like rope netting in the upper portion of his house towards the roof, right? And it starts like 8 or 9 feet up and goes to the roof, which is about 10 feet up, so a foot or two of space. And right now, there's not really that much up there. But you imagine you could store a good deal of things up there. It's really like a house you could store a lot of stuff in that isn't being used to store as much stuff as it could be. And not only that, you would note that there's an eastern and there's like a northeastern window that's like really big. And that has quite deliberately been kept such that if someone wanted to like get up, like you can walk right up to the window. And it's like an open window, it's not got glass or anything on it. So you could pretty easily, move something in and out of that window if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thanks for letting me
Of course. Now,
check things out.
would you mind if I gave a suggestion? I couldn't help but overhear that it sounds like there are people who suspect our dear town having something to do with an unscrupulous smuggling operation.
Go on.
Well, there's a river clutch kobold who has brought their boat into the area recently. And as you know, they have a great reputation for being able to move things without being too hassled and having great mastery of the waterways. If they found crates in the water, and it seems to be a nearby nexus, there is a significant river near here. Perhaps you could check there. Maybe the riverboat is still around. Maybe
I
he's
look
seen
at the
something.
poncho.
I'll look at the guy and do an insight check.
Yeah, by all means.
God damn it.
Seems like he's giving you a real hot tip.
And you've seen these river kobolds yourself?
Yes. Well, he comes to town to trade.
The river kobold openly comes in town?
Yes. Maybe he's seen something, or he shrugs. He's maybe trying to insinuate something, but your insight's so low, you just assume that he's just thinks he's seen something.
You've seen things.
Okay.
He's singing.
Do you know where the Riverbold lives? Or
Well,
at least where they're staying for the time being?
their boat is, yes, moored, and they just give you some directions, and it's like north and east of town, and yada yada.
Zion's gonna look outside the house.
Mm-hmm.
Does the dimensions fit, like, what I saw inside?
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's a bag of holding house or anything.
No, I'm not like. Does
False
the
walls,
height?
I presume?
Yeah, false walls or like ceilings.
Oh, yeah, no, you don't think there's any false walls or ceilings. You just think that like there's the space that you've seen. You do see that there's plenty of unmarked crates around here, but you checked them all, and none of them have anything particularly notable. Of course, if there were a few more crates here, it wouldn't really be particularly standout. I mean, it's the house of a merchant, right?
Someone's gonna walk towards Tento.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, I'm recasting Speak with Plants in a different area.
Oh, hi, Zion. What's up?
Mind walking outside?
Anyways, sure. We'll talk again soon, madame.
And she's like, certainly, I'm sure you two have plenty to discuss.
How do I get? What the? Oh, that's. Why is the door icon over there? But like, I can exit through. What is this area?
Hold on, let me look back at the map. I'm looking at something else
Look,
right now.
is this another door? Is this a window?
Okay,
Oh,
so there's not a door icon there. That's just there's an opening. It's a window. Yeah.
Oh,
This is the door icon. You
Tento
see?
jumps out the window.
That's the way I came in.
Yeah, you entered into the back room.
No, I came in through the hole here.
Oh, sorry. You climb in the window. He's like, I see you as Spry One.
I was so confused when he said, "Yeah, he went through the back door." I was like, "I didn't see a door."
He laughs and says, "Now that's something to cause a fight in Iscadonia. You assume someone's crawling in your window to try and steal your olives."
Oh no, I don't like olives, so sorry.
Who the fuck is
Um,
All right.
Yeah,
So
he
what's up
he
here?
also says, "Who the fuck doesn't like olives?"
It's a step farther away, so no one can. Kabanjo, you can listen to this too.
Oh, thanks. I always wanted permission to
I-
eavesdrop.
I grant you permission.
You tell him,
Okay.
Zion. Remember that, Kamacho. Don't ever assume anything.
There seems to be that guy seems to be covering up something.
Oh, Dorian? Probably.
Yeah.
He's also he also mentioned a riverboat that
I have the space, but
Wait, Shin, I
That-
can't hear you.
You cut out?
What?
Yeah, you were
Shit.
saying something, Ken, and we lost you mid talk, Shin.
Yeah, I was like, is this dramatic effect?
I don't know what happened.
This is getting really into character here.
I was saying that the guy also mentioned a riverboat, and he was saying that they might be involved, but he was very ambiguous on how he was saying things, so I'm not
Did
quite
you
sure.
say what the Riverbolt was trading in?
You know, I mean, I didn't mention anything about trading, but I don't know. He said he just comes into town and trades sometime.
Did he mention what he was trading?
No,
Did you ask him what he was trading?
no. I was gonna ask
Alright.
Riverbolt.
I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah, but it's nice to have like a cross reference.
I mean, that's fair.
I mean, it's fine. All right, so guy's probably hiding something. He's Tenta looks over at his house like here's like a 40% chance he might be a smuggler. That house is relatively new. He has someplace to hide.
And Lonnie's been staring at the grass for a while now.
Yeah,
the
so
Hmm?
Lonnie, if you
window
continue,
is
yeah, Lonnie, if you
um,
continue your like train of thought with the grass, you do find like lines of stepped grass from the window to the nearby thicket to the east.
What were you saying, Kai?
the window is an easy access to move things in and out.
Is there anything to the east? Like, is like there the is there like a body of water to the east or anything?
Yeah, there's a like the river, but like it's a different portion of the waterway than you were
But I can
directed
see
to.
it, right?
You can't see it. You have to go through the thicket a bit, but you're aware that it's there because
Okay.
people say like,
Um,
oh yeah, that way is the river.
Can I ask the grass if the person's feet were wet?
Yeah, and sometimes they say less like feet, more like scale.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's go visit this kobold and see what these guys say for himself, shall we?
Lonnie's just gonna like go back to the group and like talk about how someone's been carrying stuff from the east and I don't know, it's like really weird. Like it seems like they're walking with like scaly feet, so I don't think it's like really any of the villagers going in, but it's definitely going to the building to the east and kind of repeating a lot of information that you guys already figured out.
Yeah, I was like, Lonnie, you found all that out by just talking the grass.
Yeah.
You know, you could
She's
just
really
talk to
good
the
at touching grass.
You know, shit. You could just talk to the people for this information too. We literally knew everything we already knew everything you just said.
Yeah, but people lie. Especially when
And
they know that you're investigating them.
and you think the grass is better because it's
They don't have a
grass.
reason to lie.
Yeah, but they also could just be grass and just not remember.
What
Do
if the
they remember?
smugglers also
they
talk
remember?
to grass?
If you're talking to them, are they sentient? Are they aware that just blades of grass will just like fade away in a couple of weeks?
Are you aware that you're gonna fade away and whatever your lifespan's gonna be?
Yes, that's what makes me sentient. I'm aware of my existence. Are they aware of their existence? If you're talking to them.
Well, apparently they told me stuff that it seems like you guys also found out. So yeah, it sure looks like they are sentient.
I don't know. Did you tell
Unless
them
it
there
is
might be-
all one big coincidence.
Did you tell them that they might die in a couple of weeks? They might fade away and rot. Are they aware? Are they aware of the fact their lifespan is no longer than probably like a week?
I've seen what happens when you tell people that they're going to die soon. It's not good. Now let's go.
Well, good thing this is grass, not
Zion,
people.
do you want to
Hmm?
explain how magic works to Tento? Because I don't think he quite understands.
I don't think you
Yeah.
understand either way.
Look, I mean, are you guys surprised by how dumb Scout is? I thought we all knew this.
I'm just asking. I thought it was an interesting question.
Yeah,
Zion's gonna walk into the water.
yeah. So are you headed?
Those,
Important
just go
note:
above the water,
are you
not-
headed towards where you were pointed the riverbold is, or are you just trying to follow what would appear to be like a path through the thicket?
I mean, I was never told where the river is gonna be unless they told me. Did you guys tell me?
I mean, I wouldn't have withheld any information. I would have.
Dorian Masuka watches you walk that way through his window and says, actually, a little bit more north and down that trail is where you'd find the riverbold tide, probably.
Thank you.
Do you guys just continue to like blatantly walk in that direction?
Oh.
This follows the
Before
instruction.
leaving, I asked like while I'm at the window, like, how are you so familiar with where the riverbolt is?
And he says, oh, well, I've been out to his mooring recently.
Morning?
Mooring, where he's,
Mooring,
where,
okay.
where he tied his boat to the shore.
I said morning. I was like, excuse me, he's already dead.
No.
Were you trading with him?
Yeah, so we've done some business.
Oh, right. What
Is it?
what does he come to town to trade with?
Hmm.
And what does he trade for?
Normally goods from upriver. He buys a few metal trinkets here or there, and he sells some inland fruits, and he sells odds and ends, trinkets mostly, to those who are interested, but for the most part it's the food that he manages to sell. And
Food?
honestly, he seems like he's doing a little bit better than that material would imply.
I know I didn't get like the full path, but the path I did get does seem to be indicating east and not turn north at any point, right?
Correct. Well, I mean, like,
Um,
it's not that there's no footsteps to the north of people carrying crates. So, like, the signal ambiguifies a little, but the main thrust seems to
Okay. Cool.
it seems to be east.
Molly's actually gonna stay behind and talk to Dorian while they go off. She'll send Lumi with them in case.
Okay, yeah, I would say you might want to
Sorry.
have a character present on the board. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you stay home and you try and keep Dorian. What are you trying to keep Dorian talking about? You just trying to keep him talking in general, or?
Lonnie's gonna make sure that there's no one around, and
Kill him.
it's just
Straight up murder them.
is going to cast guidance on herself before telling him, like, right now I don't know if you've done anything, but my friends are very kind, and if there was a good reason to do anything that they wouldn't approve of, to do anything that you're being accused of, we will listen.
He kind of like he's like, give me a persuasion with that guidance. Meanwhile,
Looking a little thick.
you come through the
The
thicket
lads.
and find yourself at a wide and powerful river that rushes by.
Meanwhile,
I'm also
lads.
just gonna add on, like, do remember, like, we don't swear loyalty to the
Hmm.
Duchess, and please be a good roll. Nope.
He
You want to be
says,
lucky?
Yes, well, frankly, I think that you might ask some of the peasants for their sad stories. I know they've been very put upon, and some of them did have to be punished. Often they lost their farms for selling food to Tessin. So, yes, I'm only here temporarily due to some political trouble back home. In Mirko, I'm not really tapped into local issues. So you guys arrive, and yeah, you guys see that there's the river, the brush clears away, and there's some ruined, semi-overgrown, wet stone structures like in the water here.
How far north did we go from that house?
You mostly went east, even though the map orientation is fucked up. I'm silly, but you went like I'm gonna say.
Didn't he say the kobold was like north?
Yeah, he said the kobold was more north. So like if you went left on this map, you would eventually reach the kobold's mooring.
Also, Lonnie's just gonna ask Lumi, like, because yeah, like, I guess, like, hey Lumi, I don't know if, like, the trail's fresh enough to smell anything, but I don't know. I think the kobold's gonna be kind of easy to notice. Maybe you could help them.
Lumi says it all smells like river to me, and then says, "Sure,
Okay.
I can just. Do you want her to like scout along the river's banks and see if she can go see the boat?"
No, I was asking her to see if she could smell anything out, but if not, Lonnie's just gonna be like, well, I hope the idiots can find their way.
Zion's gonna.
Except Zion's pretty smart.
Zion's gonna.
It's the lads, Lonnie. What's wrong with the lads?
The
Go.
lads and Lumi.
The lads and Lumi. Lads and Wolf.
Because she's gotta speak Lumi's language, and Lumi, even though she has a much lower intelligence than y'all, still probably thinks that she's smarter than y'all.
Go direct east from that window
Yeah, so if you
that
just
had easy access.
yeah, so when you do that, when you follow what would be like the most straightforward path through the yes, Mass Parker, and we've seen it before. If you take the most straightforward, straight east path, we're hearing a lot of Jake. I'm sorry, Casey.
Oh, okay.
Then you would get to where you are right now on this map.
Okay. I'm gonna walk into the water.
All right.
Zion?
You splash
Good,
into the
good,
water.
good,
And
good,
hold
good.
on, for one moment. So okay, right? At first, right, you're like you're somewhat in the water, but you can see like around. You know what I'm saying? So you see that there is a passage under this structure, if you will, and that there's like stone overhangs of all of this, right? And then further down, you wind up at like negative 15 feet, which winds up being too deep because of how adding works. And so you wind up in the river, right? And you're seeing what you're seeing right now, right? Like it goes even
Mhm.
deeper. Anybody who's trained water or above is above that. What's your passive perception again?
16.
Okay. So, you would note that the riverbed is disturbed in some places around here semi-recently, but because it's under rushing water, there's nothing definitive you can get out of it other than some mud clumps don't look like they would be after a long time of not being disturbed.
I'm gonna
Other
stay
than
in the
that,
water.
most of the disturbance seems focused around those stone structures.
Okay.
Also, everyone who's just watched Zion get in the sea, what are you doing?
Tento's just confused as to why that's Zion's first reaction. but
Just
I guess he'll
another day
just-
with Zion.
Yeah, I guess he'll just start walking towards this stone structure. But like he's probably here, right?
I'm gonna message Tento and say there's some sort of thing beneath the stone structure.
Zion, you're
Are you
walking
listening?
along, so Kabansha, you skitter along like a wet, slicked, overgrown, narrow, like bridge onto the structure, right?
Yeah.
You note that the structure's got a roof that appears to be 10 feet up, or rather what's left of a roof. It's highly dilapidated. As you get closer, you hear a plunk into water. And what's Lumi's passive perception?
I'm sorry, real quick. You said what'd you say to me?
Lumi's
again,
passive
Ryan?
perception is 14, right?
Sorry, I said 13. Apparently, it's 12.
Oh,
Lower
oh.
than I thought.
Oh, but when I
Oh
check
my
when I
God.
check it, it shows 14 in parentheses.
Huh? Did I look at the wrong thing?
Maybe it's because
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing, I guess.
so
Oh, I must have been looking at Lonnie's. Okay, my bad.
yeah, Lumi definitely sees a glint of something blue-green in the rising moonlight before that audible plunk into water is heard, and it flashes from about here where I'm pinging.
I guess Lemmy will run over and bark.
All right.
She's probably saying something like guys, why aren't you over here?
Kabansha, you're
Did
on
you
like
see it?
you're on like an ultra narrow bridge, and then like a wolf runs between your legs and starts barking loudly. And Tento, you've witnessed all of this, and also Zion sent you a message. Sorry, Kai, I think I set you off when you were writing what the message is.
What was the message again, Kai? Sorry.
There's some sort of thing beneath the stone structure.
Some sort of thing beneath the stone structure. I mean,
Why isn't the short
I
one
don't think I
coming
can
over
reply,
here?
can I?
Why isn't the short one coming over here too? I thought you guys wanted to go find something.
Can I?
You can
Oh.
reply.
Yeah. Oh, I can reply. Okay, he's like, okay, cool. It's like, okay, and I mean, there's something. He's like, is it like a room underneath there, or like what are we talking about? Lumi's barking at something. So give me a second.
Zion,
Louis is just secretly insulting all of you.
is Teichstein naturally like magical or it just can be if
Normally,
processed correctly?
so like Teichstein doesn't like produce its own magic, but because it holds it, you'll sometimes find some residual magic in Teichstein ore because like the world radiates magic. It's the same reason you can't have unconcentrated black powder out, and it'll just randomly detonate. So
All right.
it'll catch some. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Zion's gonna sit in the water and ritual cast detect magic.
All right. What's the range on that?
Uh, sir, 30 feet.
Hmm.
So how long do we think until we think Zion is drowning?
Zion
He's
doesn't
in there for
drown.
10 minutes casting the
What
spell.
are you talking about? Zion doesn't drown. What? I'm not sure Zion breathes at the time.
Alright, fine.
And just for reference,
how long do we
Camacho,
think until Zion's in trouble?
just so you know
Oh.
this, like this little like line here, Camacho, the
Mhm.
chest high wall that you clambered over, Gears of War style. So the only full open entrance to the north is right here. Just so you're aware.
Tonto answers when he was like when Kabanja says how long do you think he'll have to be in trouble? It's like, oh well, he didn't mention there's like some structure under this thing, so
Did he say what's going under it?
I think that's heavily implied, yeah.
Oh.
So like I'll give it like 5 minutes till something's wrong with Zion. If it finds anything down there.
Alright, Lumi, what are you barking at?
So
What happened, Lumi? Did Kabanja fall down the well?
Cabancho. A rock kind of like clatters to the east of where you are. Maybe against maybe against this, maybe against this. It's hard to say. It seems like maybe the sound is coming more from the shore.
Mm-hmm.
And Tinto, remind me of your passive perception.
Hi.
19?
No, 21.
21, sorry.
Okay, you see it because they got a 19, but you see through that. Someone a sling. There was a swift sling that thwapped and shot a rock in this direction.
Wait, someone had shot a sling over here?
Yeah, you saw a sling like here, and you saw that they shot for over here, as if they were trying to perhaps drag you away.
Can I throw a knife over there? Wait,
Sure.
is there a rock here?
Well, sure, but bear in mind, like you saw like the sling like pop over this ledge of stone, and it's not there anymore. So how do you want to throw? Do you want to throw the knife as if so that it will go plunk down into your target, or like an underhand?
It
It would be tricky. It would be tricky.
Yeah, I'll do a trick shot. It's like whoop.
All right, give me a dagger.
If we get any warning at all, he's just gonna throw in the general direction of Cabancho.
Yeah. Why not?
It's the perfect murder.
God.
It's the perfect murder place.
Alright, roll a second that one. God damn
Man, I wish I was lucky.
All right, roll me your dagger damage.
Never mind.
There's a pain sort of like
Don't-
scricking sound.
Don't kill them.
I didn't think I was gonna hit him that hard. All right, look.
Tento, what the heck? Why are you throwing knives?
Did you not just hear that sound?
Yeah, a fucking pebble fell off this, whatever this.
No, the
structure
other. What? No, the other sound. Did you not just hear that cry of pain?
Oh yeah, I did hear that, but like, why are you throwing knives?
So at about this time, right?
Oh, so
There is a
probably-
splash of someone or something popping up. You see teal scales and yellow glowing eyes, and there is a further plopping of water as someone pops up here, and there is a further swishing of water as someone repositions from here, and there's a further plopping up from below here as a bunch of scaly-looking folk are presently closing in on your ass, and they have their weapons out because you just stabbed one of their guys with a knife at range. So
Tenzo's gonna put his hands up. He's like, in retrospect, I probably shouldn't have thrown my knife. That's just the first thing I grabbed. I'm sorry. We're not here for trouble.
you
Too
kind
I don't
of
think they're gonna believe us. You just threw a knife.
yeah.
Mantra, you're not helping the situation.
Why'd you throw the knife?
It's a reactionary thing.
So give me a persuasion to convince them that you're legit.
Okay.
Good luck, buddy.
No! Why
Okay.
could that be a one?
I'm gonna pitch in and say
So
like,
like,
so my friend's an idiot. Please forgive him. We actually are not here to hurt you, anyone. We just need to find out what's going on. Is there anyone we can talk to?
all right, give me your persuasion.
What if you rolled the one?
Let's see that too.
Oh, thank God, it's a 19.
Okay, so here's what happens. The one nearest Sento, when he says that, throws a net at him. It was almost a 20, but instead it was a 2. And Tento just shrugs off the net, and then he's going for a spear, and
Just
then
catch it.
he stops. Yeah, you catch the net. He's like, You not hurt us. Wait. Then why come here and poke around? Have you been sent by merchant man? Are you here to do business? Why throw knife? Throwing
My
knife.
friend's an idiot.
Throwing knife unbusinesslike behavior. Throwing knife very unbusinesslike behavior. Throwing knife goes over poorly at networking event. Throwing knife goes very poorly at networking event. And the
You go to a
wounded,
lot of networking events.
the wounded one, pops out and says, "I have been stabbed by your steel. This unpleases me." Kind of like
Would you like to
Tells-
stab him back?
yes.
Holy crap.
He flaps. He's got a strange-looking quartz blade, a knife on his hip. And by the way, I mean, Lonnie,
Maybe stab him back with the knife that he threw at you. Not.
Lonnie, you have
How about
like
you just don't stab me? I said sorry.
Lonnie, you have like
Clearly
telepathy
deserving.
on Lumi, so you know that all this shit's going down, right? And you're hearing it, and you're not in adreno mode. I don't think remotely, are you? Or do you
How
think
long did it take for them to walk over?
it probably did not take them more than like 10 minutes, 7 minutes, maybe?
If the fights happen, it's gonna be over by the time Lonnie gets there. Lonnie's just going to
Briskly walk.
Lonnie's just going to be like, "God, please don't do anything dumb," and she's gonna just go try to
Yeah, the merchant's gonna say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Do you feel suddenly the urge to leave?"
Hey man.
Lonnie was gonna just go talk to the take his advice and go talk to the other villagers.
Oh, do you actually like stop by the other villagers?
Yeah, Lonnie figures that by the time she gets there, if something happens, it'll be over.
Yeah. So here's what happens. The villagers at first are like, and then someone's like, "Well, she's clearly a priestess. We can trust her." And they're like, "Oh yeah."
Lonnie is trying to talk away from the soldiers and pretty much gives the same the same spiel to all of them,
Like, well,
and
we don't have-
anxiously listens in on Lumi.
They say, "Well, we don't have anything to do with it. It's that city slicker."
Always a city slicker.
You've just been to his house, yes. I guarantee you, he's the one behind it.
Lonnie asks like,
That-
he's
Dorian.
like, he's a
Masuka.
newcomer, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's Dorian Masuka. He had
Okay.
some sort of political problems back home in the city, and he moved out here. He's tracked whatever foul business he's in out with him. Meanwhile, the river Tajirus are saying hello, and in the river, Zion, you're ritual casting some stuff. What direction is Zion looking in as it ritual casts?
I imagine it has its eyes shut.
Alright, he's
Why is it shut?
He's chilling in the river. I don't think any loud sound has been loud enough to disturb you yet.
No.
So meanwhile, up top, they have these weirdly glazed quartz weapons, spears and daggers, and they have around them these waterproof-looking satchels. They look blubbery in texture, and yeah, the wounded one has a sling on his wrist, a blubbery sling, and the whole group, they're looking at you pretty miffed, and they say, "Explain, Dryland. Why do you come, if not for business or violence? Why do you seek corners with knife?"
I'm sorry, that was just my first reaction when I see things that startle me.
So you are killers.
I like to think we're cautious.
Not like anyone's gonna understand Lumi. Lumi's just gonna say like, yeah, because he's dumb.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm more cautious than a killer.
Yeah, the fish, not fish, they look honestly more like iguanas. One of them points to Lumi and says, "Can one you translate? I cannot understand the bark."
She said, "Sorry for the loud noises."
Well,
No, Lumi just growls at you.
I am thinking
She doesn't
you are
like me
not
very much.
accurately translating.
No,
she
he's
just
an idiot, as I said. So
no, she just doesn't like me.
So, what brings you to the sunken fish, to the fishing house, if you are not here to do business or violence, and you are cautious people? Cautious people do not go to strange places at night unawares.
we were asked by a friend to investigate the area, and we were hoping to find out what was going on here.
What goes on here is not business of your friend unless we know your friend's name.
Oh, that's a very good point.
What is your friend's name?
I do not remember the merchant's name.
First of all, are you... There are three spawns above. The Duchess, the Viceroy, Hessen, the Fan. You come from away. Do you come from the Duchess, or do you come from the Fan clan?
We come from
Technically
neither. We're not affiliated with either clan.
So you are not friends of Clan Tessin.
No.
AC, I'm sorry, but Jake's a little loud.
Wait, is this not? I thought it was muted. Okay.
No.
Oh, that might be what's happening.
Alright, I'm still hearing him actually.
Yeah. I think it's set to the wrong speaker, so I think that's the whole problem this whole time.
Oh, Hamau.
Is this better?
He's loud.
Yeah, you sound better, but we are hearing more Jake. But I'm
Yeah,
guessing...
because he changed the mic setting, so okay.
No, we don't.
But I can at least mute now.
Alright, so this one walks up and says, "Where do you come from if you do not come from the Fan or the Duchess?"
We come from the south, from a castle called Sorjo.
We have heard of Sorjo. It is inside Tessin lands, but you are not with Tessin?
No, we are a free land from Tessin.
I don't think that's entirely true.
Not quite true, but
then we
okay.
have.
That's true.
Then I do not think we have any business. Yes. Tell your friend you only found private business here, nothing to investigate.
Why can't we be part of business then? Do you trade in coin? Do you trade in goods?
You have told me who you are. And I have decided you are not part of business.
Can you at least do the courtesy and tell us who you are?
Courtesy. It is a subjective thing. For example, in our culture, people who throw daggers at people are normally killed, and not killing that person is considered a courtesy. So, from my point of view, we have been very courteous. I understand this may be a different matter among ye of high tree and dark wood. I have never met with an anorak in such close quarters before. Our eggs hatch in so different of places. However, I do respect that you come to us as people of the woods, and I will see you on your way unharmed. Although, he holds his head, my wound does harm me badly.
Can I give you something to help with that?
Can you? Let us see your poultice craft.
I
anorak.
pull out one of my potions of quickening.
Mm-hmm. And the guy next to him says something in what sounds like a series of hisses. And the other one says, well, this one speaks well of courtesy. Let us see if he feeds me poison or a draught.
Would you like me to test it out first?
You are anorak. Aren't you immune? Yes, they have poison in body. They cannot be poisoned. Yes, just like... And then they sort of cut off.
Alright, that is a very horribly misunderstood concept.
I apologize.
We can produce venom, but we are not poison immune.
I see. You are like our
wouldn't that be handy?
You are like our cousins deep in the sea, and yes, from their hands it sprouts. Forgive my ignorance. I did not mean a discourtesy. I will trust you. Give me your drink.
Alright, I hand him a toxifying... No, I'm kidding. Because I actually can't make poison potions.
Alright, give me the healing.
Just fucking just kill right here. And they're all dead.
Well, I mean, now that you've said it.
Nice, yeah,
Now
I'm
that
good.
the racism is out on the table, let's go.
Yeah, and he's like, delicious. It tastes of lemon. Ooh, he prepares the lemon beverage. Yes. Restored me. You see, like the blood is fading, the scale is like healed and like faint and white and new. And they say, very good. I am afraid that I am on a dear mission to my people. There are those who would say that I should not allow any witnesses to leave, but you have shown us great courtesy, and I believe you are unaffiliated with the affairs of the realm. So, I would rather we leave on good terms, now that we have exchanged gifts, daggers, and potions.
I would like us to leave on good terms too, but I do have to tell my friend something.
Yes.
If I can give him a semblance of the truth,
what you should
he's
tell...
not gonna send more people. And I can't guarantee the other people he sends are gonna be as vocal.
And who is your friend aligned with? He looks at you and says, "Come. There is no need to. There is no need to be dishonest with us. We seek an amicable solution. No matter your answer, I will not cause issue."
My friend is aligned with honor and above all else, but he is under the Duchess.
Ah, what a shame then. You see, my clutch has sworn allegiance to Clan Tessin. Alright, Culture Shock outro, Bay Beach 1232. So, I believe it is feedback phase now. Let's start with Kai. He's our guy. Alright, Kai, I'm sorry, I promise, next session. Next session you're gonna reach the city.
Oh, yeah, I thought today was kind of slow. Just...
kind of slow.
Yeah. I felt like it was just side quests with no real addition to what we're doing. yeah. I look forward to seeing what's waiting for us at Macau.
All right. With that, Shin.
Hey, I do agree it's a little slow. There's like, it felt like you're trying to get us in a direction, but you're trying to like drop a lot of lore and hints before we get to Mirko. And that little bit of like railroady isn't really a problem in my mind.
But it felt a bit railroady.
Yeah.
It did not feel organic.
It did not feel very organic, but I still hold the thing that that's not particularly a problem. A little level of railroad is generally for the best. Just don't take player agency away from us. But no, it's a lot of interesting things. I do like how you're introducing new things all the time, and I don't know how to like form this in words. I might have to like think about it and text you about it later.
You might have to do an interpretive dance.
Yeah.
That's how we solve all our problems, right? Interpretive dancing.
Of course.
But there seems to be a lot of like implications of we need to make a decision and it has like the utmost importance of the outcome. But then when we go through it, it doesn't seem like that was the case, or maybe we just didn't discover the other options or the other potential results.
You feel like there's no choice or there's no payoff, or both?
There was a lot of choice, but there was not a whole lot of payoff per our decision. It was more like it seemed like that would have been the results regardless. And not necessarily bad, but leaning on the bad side. As like a negative feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also excited to see where this leads us. Hopefully we don't start beating these people up, because one dagger throw put them that low.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like shit.
I don't want to massacre these guys.
He was half health. And
No, he was last. He was like,
was he last?
maybe like a quarter health left.
Oh, that was like
Yo,
damage.
I leave you guys alone for a little bit.
That was your fault.
Hopefully we don't massacre these guys, because apparently they're part of Clan Tessin. I do appreciate that they have their own language, but you don't use it to be like a language barrier that causes problems. There's still a way to communicate. And yeah, I'm excited to see what we find in Mirko and level up.
What was that shit? What was that last part? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
It's a little cough
having
there,
too
buddy.
much, too many snacks on the stream, you know.
Yeah, too many snacks on
Yeah.
stream. What kind of snacks did you have today, huh, Shin?
That's my I had hot fries. That's my 2 cents.
All right, Darren, hit me with it.
Fries are my 2 cents.
I mean, I had a lot of fun with the RPing. I mean, I don't mind it too much, but no, it's just like a big RP day.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. And I personally do like the side quests. I do like how you're trying to expand the world. But, you know, my grievances are the same as everyone else's.
Also felt it was a slow day, unfortunately.
Yeah, there wasn't like. It's a lot of payouts that we're not gonna see like right away, right? Like it's just a lot of things that are gonna come back to us. We just don't know when. And that's fine. I mean, but was it a little slow? Yeah, I mean, we already went all through all this rigmarole about what it is, and I mean, I don't have too much of an issue with it, but you know, it is something that should be brought up, and it has. So that's it for me.
All right. Casey's turn.
Yeah, I'm like kind of like withholding my judgment for now because I don't know what the payoff is going to be, because it definitely seems like it is just set up. I think it just caught us off guard because we just weren't expecting it, which like
Yeah,
I guess kind of makes sense because
that-
we're
that-
going into new territory.
That whole scene with her did not go at all how I envisioned it going, so I kind of fucked that whole thing up. But I don't, the payoff isn't going to be any different. I just think it was more boring than it should have been. Like, in my mind, there was a lot of, like, dynamic stuff to do there, but in reality, they're doing it.
Like, for me, I think the two sides, and I don't know what plan you have for the greater scheme of things, but, like, I think the two instances are fine on their own, but I think two of them, like, both of them happening now when we're expecting the dinner, like, a big event, or at least, like, one that, like, we've been, like, kind of expecting to do for a while.
Mhm.
I think that's what kind of pushed it over. Like, if it was just, like, one and then we ate in or so, but I don't know if things could have happened that way, and I don't know what the payoff is quite yet. I think the other thing is maybe there were like more opportunities and we just like didn't quite do it. But I don't know if Tenta would have done it.
Mhm.
I kind of wish we had more time before we found where the sword belonged to, because it's like we were like, oh yeah, like it was like alluded to that like we could use it, we just wouldn't know, we just couldn't unleash the full potential. And I don't know, it just kind of seemed like oh, we got it and we kind of immediately found where it goes to.
Yeah, it was a pretty quick turnaround time.
Yeah. But yeah, again, I'm like taking everything with a grain of salt because again, just don't know what the payoff is, and just overall, like these two instances are fine on their own. Just it just blindsided us because you're expecting a co-dinner. That's I think that's pretty much it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it was nice seeing some old characters again. Even though we may not have remembered all of them. who was the guy?
Yeah, I was so
chatting with us first.
The thing is, like Shinru definitely remember who Captain Tanaka was, like, more than I was, like, during the Cathadak arc, and so much of this is just the technical debt of how long I let Cathadak run, and the fact that I had not originally invented. I had not expected Iskadonian Knights. I didn't know Iskadonian Knights was going to happen. I came up with that idea later. So, like, so many scenes, so many things that I had envisioned, you know, are now... Yeah.
It is also, like, I guess it depends on type of players. Like, I usually take notes during stuff. I just haven't like had like a good place to take notes because I took a lot of notes at the beginning, like with Horn HQ. So I probably do have notes on him somewhere. I just kind of grabbed scrap pieces of paper though, and because of the move, I have no idea where the fuck they are. So like if I and like it's not uncommon for players to take notes. So I think it is a fair assumption, or like even if it's been a little bit, like for people to like possibly know or like be able to refresh themselves. But I think us as a group have kind of become a little overly reliant on VODs, which is a little bit which kind of sucks because VODs take forever to actually sift through and find the info for. On top of just like we take things at a slower pace. So I it's like it's cool that it is a world that is built, and people persist even after we leave them and stuff, and we may run into them again. I just think that we just also need to get better about remembering, not relying on you.
Yeah, valid. I think that maybe with that, we're gonna raid Daelric. Thank you all for coming out, Dreamers, and I will see you on the. Actually, let's raid Lost Caravan RPG. We're gonna be Audi 5000. Bye.